Hello everyone, I hope you guys are keeping well. And today we'll be discussing about the extraocular muscles. That is this video is the continuation of the previous video in which we discussed about the bony orbit. And in subsequent videos, we'll be discussing about the orbital fractures. We just need to get to know the anatomy and the anatomical structure that the orbit is surrounded with, so that we may be able to understand the management of the orbital fracture in a better way. So today we'll be starting with the extraocular muscles. These muscles can be divided into two categories. The first one is the involuntary muscles, and the second one is the voluntary muscles. Involuntary muscles contains three muscles, and voluntary muscles contain three sets of muscles. So first we'll discuss about the involuntary muscles. The involuntary muscles include, first one, superior tarsal muscle, second one, inferior tarsal muscle, third one is the orbitalis muscle. Right, now coming to the voluntary muscles of the eye. The first one are the recti. There are four recti in total. First one is the superior rectus muscle, second one inferior rectus muscle, third one the medial rectus, and I know you have guessed the fourth one, that is the lateral rectus. The second category is the oblique muscles. There are only two oblique muscles. The first one is the superior oblique and the second one is the inferior oblique muscle. Right. And the third category of muscle is the levator palpebrae muscle. So these are the total number of muscles that are contained in the extraocular muscles, and we'll discuss the origin and insertion of each one of them individually. So let's get started. Let's start studying the attachments of the extraocular muscles. This is your eye, and these are the attachments that you see. These are the extraocular muscles over here. So we'll discuss the origin and insertion of each muscles one by one, starting with the rectus muscle. So just for your information, this is the sclera. Then this is the left corneal limbus. We are studying the left eye. Then this is the left cornea. Okay. So first, starting with the rectus muscles. There are four rectus muscles, as I had already said previously: the superior rectus, medial, inferior, and the lateral rectus. Before studying the origin of the rectus, we need to know what is the common tendinous ring. Common tendinous ring is a structure which is present at the apex of the orbit, enclosing the optic canal and the middle part of the superior orbital fissure. So we'll just bring in the sphenoid bone over here for you. So this is the sphenoid bone, and when we turn this structure the other side, because it is not possible from this side to visualize it, so over here if you see, this is the superior orbital fissure, and this is your optic canal. Over here, this is the optic canal. So common tendinous ring is a structure which encloses both the optic canal and the optic canal and the middle part of the superior orbital fissure. So over here it will be somewhere, if you can follow the pointer over here, this will be the location of the common tendinous ring, and all the recti muscles will have its origin from the common tendinous ring at a position respective to their, like superior recti will have its origin from the superior portion of the common tendinous ring, the lateral from the lateral aspect, medial from the medial aspect, right? So studying the superior recti muscle first, if you see over here, you can appreciate if that was the apex of the orbit. Now imagine this is the apex of the orbit formed by the orbital surface of the sphenoid bone. So here if you see this muscle, this is the superior rectus muscle, and it will have its origin from the common tendinous ring. Yeah, over here I have highlighted this. So if you find that this will have its origin from the common tendinous ring, and it will come in a forward direction below the levator palpebrae muscles and the superior tarsus muscle, and it will attach on the sclera of the eye. This is the sclera of the eye, and it will attach over here on the superior aspect of the sclera of the eye. Next we talk about the lateral rectus muscle. Let me just show you over here. This is the lateral rectus muscle in red color. This will have its origin at the apex of the orbit, somewhere inside over here at the apex, on the lateral aspect of the common tendinous ring corresponding to the greater wing of the sphenoid bone, and it will also come in a forward direction laterally and attach over here on the lateral aspect of the sclera. So this is your lateral rectus muscle. Also there is one more thing to add over here in respect to the lateral rectus muscle, that one part of the lateral rectus muscle will find its origin from the common tendinous ring at the lateral aspect, and the another part will also find its origin from the medial surface or the orbital surface of the greater wing of the sphenoid. It has two attachments for its origin. Now similarly for the inferior rectus muscle, over here this is highlighted in yellow, if you can see. This is inferior rectus muscle, and this will also have its origin from the inferior aspect of the common tendinous ring. Here if you can see, this muscle is having its origin from the apex of the bone. From this aspect there are so many overlapping structures, so you just have to have a better imaginative power for this. The apex lying in the posterior part of the orbit, from there the origin it starts on the inferior aspect of the common tendinous ring. The muscle will come in a forward and upward direction over here and attach to the sclera below the limbus of the cornea. Okay, so this is below the inferior tarsus muscle and the inferior oblique muscle, right? And likewise you have this muscle which is the medial rectus muscle over here. We'll color this in green color for the sake of identification. If you see this muscle in green, this is the medial rectus muscle. It is having its attachment on the medial aspect of the common tendinous ring over here, and it will come in a forward and a medial direction and find its insertion on the sclera behind the limbus of the cornea over here. Okay, so far we have studied the origin and insertion of the recti muscles, and another thing that is worth mentioning over here is that in regard to the insertion of these recti, the uh, position where these are inserting, the medial rectus over here going to have its insertion posterior to the at least 5.5 millimeter posterior to it, whereas the superior rectus will be 7.5 millimeter posterior to the cornea of the eye. Similarly, the lateral rectus will be 6.9 millimeter posterior, and likewise the inferior rectus over here, this is inferior rectus and it is around 6.5 millimeter posterior to the cornea of the eye at the lower end. You can appreciate this over here. The distance from the cornea to the medial rectus is less as compared to the lateral side over here. So this was all about the recti muscles. Now we move to the obliquus muscle. There are two oblique muscles. One is the superior obliquus and the other one is the inferior obliquus. So talking about the superior oblique muscle, it will find its origin at the apex of the orbit at the superior medial portion of the optic canal. So if we see from this end, this is our optic canal here, and it will find its origin, the muscle oblique, superior oblique will find its origin somewhere over here on the orbital surface, and then it will move, as you can see, in a forward and medial direction. It will come, and over here we will need to see that it will first of all pass through a fibrocartilaginous pulley fossa which is attached to the trochlear fossa. So we will bring in the frontal bone for that purpose, and we will see the trochlear fossa where it is. So here you can see this is the frontal bone, and somewhere here, if you can appreciate, this is the fibrocartilaginous pulley. The oblique muscle, superior oblique muscle, will pass through it and then move in a latero-backward direction, latero-posterior direction, and it will go beneath the superior recti muscles here. We'll remove this muscle also, and then it will go and attach on the sclera of the eye in a posterior part over here. You can see we'll remove this lateral recti also for the sake of appreciation of the attachment. Superior, this is the attachment of the superior oblique muscle. Next, we will study about the attachment of the inferior oblique muscle. So the inferior oblique muscle will have its origin from the maxilla. So we will call the maxillary bone here, and let's just highlight in this with, say, pink color. Here you can see this is the maxillary bone. It will find its origin from the anterior border of the maxilla, the orbital surface of the maxilla, lateral to the lacrimal fossa. So here is the lacrimal fossa, and this is the attachment of it lateral to the lacrimal fossa. This muscle will move in a backward lateral direction, and it will go and attach on the sclera of the eye posteriorly below the lateral rectus muscle. We have a lateral rectus muscle over here, over here, and this muscle is going in a backward lateral direction above the inferior rectus muscle, and below the lateral rectus muscle to attach on the posterior aspect of the sclera, just below the attachment of the superior oblique muscle. So this is superior oblique muscle and this is the inferior oblique muscle. Next muscle is the levator palpebrae muscle over here, and we will take a different color for this. Let's say we'll take red color for this muscle. Yeah, so this will find its attachment also from the, now we will remove the frontal bone because it is hindering the visualization of the attachment. This muscle over here is also finding its attachment on from the apex of the orbit, just antero-superior to the optic canal. It will follow a forward direction and attach on the, there are two parts of insertion of this muscle. One is on the superior tarsal plate. See over here, this is the superior tarsal plate in the yellow, and it will have its insertion on the superior tarsal plate on the upper eyelid, and another part of its insertion is on the anterior aspect of the superior tarsus muscle. Over here is the superior tarsal muscle, and another one part of this levator palpebrae will attach on the superior tarsus muscle. Now that was all about the voluntary muscles of the extraocular part. Now coming to the involuntary muscles, there are two muscles. One is the actually there are three muscles. One is superior tarsus, the other one is inferior tarsus, and the third one is the orbitalis muscle. But because the function of the orbitalis muscle is not very certain, so probably will not have much of its contribution in learning the fracture of the orbit. Hence, we will omit that for now. So we'll concentrate on two muscles, the superior tarsus and the inferior tarsus. So just first coming to the superior tarsus. Superior tarsus over here is this. This, if you can appreciate in the green color, this is the superior tarsus and its attachment is from the deeper portion of the levator palpebrae, superior levator palpebrae muscle, and it will come in a forward direction and attach to the superior tarsal plate on the upper eyelid. The another muscle, that is the inferior tarsal, you can see over here, this muscle, and we will also color this in green, right? So I hope you can appreciate the dark green and the light green. This is your inferior tarsal plate, and this is your inferior tarsus muscle. The inferior tarsal muscle will originate from the facial sheath of the inferior rectus muscle, and it will also come in a forward and upward direction and attach on the inferior tarsal plate. So this is your superior tarsal muscle, this is your superior tarsal plate, this is your inferior tarsal muscle, and this is your inferior tarsal plate. Have a quick revision of all the extraocular muscles. Yes, so these are the extraocular muscles. So we have namely the four recti. Here you can see the four rectus muscle, and if you just turn over here on the back side, you can see that the attachment of these muscles, they are forming like a ring like structure. Okay, so this is basically that common tendinous ring from which it is getting its origin from. Okay, it was not possible to visualize it when the sphenoid bone was there, but when we remove that bone, we can see that this is the common tendinous ring that gives origin to the recti muscles, and all the recti muscles come and attach on the sclera. This is the sclera and it attaches on that, posterior to the cornea of the eye. Let's just see the sphenoid bone here. You can see here, this is the sphenoid bone, and from here the muscles that you can see are going to be attached, and this is the entire uh, common tendinous ring that will be formed here. Now here we can appreciate that this is sphenoid bone, this is your superior rectus, this is lateral rectus, this is inferior rectus, and this is the medial rectus. Right. And this is sclera. Now we'll see the oblique muscle, the superior oblique muscle over here, you can see, and the inferior oblique muscle over here. Right. So the superior oblique muscle will also have its attachment from the superomedial side of the sphenoid bone above the optic canal over here. It's not possible to visualize, but yeah. And it will go and pass through the fibrocartilaginous pulley on the frontal bone and pass beneath the superior rectus muscle, which is present here, if you can see, and go posteriorly and attach to the sclera over here. Right. Next is the inferior rectus muscle. You can see over here, this inferior rectus muscle is going to originate from the maxilla, and this will pass above the inferior rectus muscle and go posteriorly and attach on the sclera just beneath the superior obliquus muscle. So here is the attachment. This is inferior oblique and this is superior oblique. Right. Then next muscle is the levator palpebrae, the superior levator palpebrae. You can see over here in this red color, this is the superior levator palpebrae, and it is having its attachment from the apex of the orbit from the lesser wing of the sphenoid bone anterior to the optic canal, and it will have its attachment over here on the superior tarsal plate, along with some of its fibers attaching to the superior tarsus muscle. So let's bring the superior tarsus muscle over here. You can see here, this is the superior tarsus muscle, and some of the fibers will attach on this muscle, anterior aspect of this muscle. Next is the superior tarsus muscle. It is going to attach or take its origin from the deeper surface of the superior levator palpebrous muscle and have its insertion on the superior tarsal plate. So it is going to have its origin from the deeper surface of the superior levator palpebrae muscle and have its insertion on the superior tarsal plate. Next comes the inferior tarsus. Over here, this is the inferior tarsus, and this is going to take its origin from the facial sheath of the inferior rectus muscle and attach on the inferior tarsal plate over here, right? So this is the inferior tarsal plate and this is the inferior tarsus muscle. So these are the involuntary muscles, right? This is all the extraocular muscles of the eye. Next, we come to the nerve innervation of these muscles. The extraocular muscles are supplied by the oculomotor nerve except for two muscles. One is the superior oblique muscle and the lateral rectus muscle. So apart from these two muscles that we have labeled, all the other muscles are supplied by the oculomotor nerve over here. So if you can see, this is the nerve that is coming. This is the oculomotor nerve or the third cranial nerve, and this is going to supply the superior rectus, the inferior rectus, the medial rectus, the inferior oblique muscle of the eye. So on the right side, you can see this is how the nerve emerges from the orbital fissure, from its medial aspect over here, and it will supply the muscles of the eye. So next is the innervation of the superior oblique muscle. So the nerve that supplies the superior oblique muscle is the trochlear nerve. You can see over here, this nerve is coming over here and it is supplying this muscle. This is the superior oblique muscle. You can see this is the nerve and it is supplying the superior oblique muscle. Now as you can see on the right side, trochlear nerve is also emerging from the medial aspect of the superior orbital fissure and then supplying the superior oblique muscle over here. Next, we go to the innervation of the lateral rectus muscle. So if we see here, the lateral rectus muscle is supplied by the abducent nerve or the sixth cranial nerve. Just have a visual look of the abducent nerve, which is here. You see, then this is the abducent nerve. It will supply the lateral rectus muscle. So if we see from the right side, this is the abducent nerve over here. So I hope that you like the video and you have comprehended the extraocular muscles, and kindly stay tuned to the channel because next time we are coming up with the classification of the orbital fracture. So thank you.